the human brain. A powerful thing that some people use a lot. It's one of the reasons why we are more complex than most other animals. In other words, even though many animals have physically more bigger, fatter mass than us, we are smarter. That sounds like a skill issue. It makes us fall in love, makes us afraid of things that can't hurt us, and occasionally makes us want to bust a nut for some reason.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
But for most of history, people had no idea how it worked. They have done some wild stuff back in the days with people accusing others for the stupidest reasons and getting away with it. A long time ago, before time had a name. Well, maybe not that long, but still long time ago, if you acted a little off. Maybe you talked to yourself, had mood swings, or just liked pineapple on pizza. People didn't think you had a psychological disorder. Nope, they thought you were possessed. Ancient Egyptians and Mesopotamians believed spirits controlled your mind, which is basically ancient ghost hunting, but with more exorcisms and fewer Dr. Phil shows. Fast forward a few centuries, and in medieval Europe, the logic got even worse. Do you have sleep paralysis? Must be a demon sitting on your chest. Sleepwalking? Definitely witchcraft. Many were killed because they were sleepwalking. But then came Hippocrates, the original trust me bro of medicine. He had a crazy theory. What if our brains controlled our emotions? Yeah, I think they are onto something. He introduced the idea of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. Basically, if you were too sad, doctors thought you just had too much black bile. The solution? Probably leeches. Because everything back then involved leeches.
I have an idea!
Later, a guy named Galen expanded on this, saying that emotions and behavior were linked to physical health. It was a big step forward, but medicine was still mostly RNG. Then came the Dark Ages, where the solution to mental illness was basically, if you can't fix them, kill them, monkey see, monkey do. These places were basically haunted houses, but real. Patients were kept in awful conditions, and in places like Bedlam in London, rich people could actually pay to watch the patients suffer. Because humanity has always been kinda awful. Some treatments were straight-up horror movie material. If you were acting strange, they might drill a hole in your head to let the bad spirits out. Shockingly, this did not work, but it sure did make things worse. Then came the 19th century, where things finally started making a little sense. Sigmund Freud, the man, the myth, the guy who was a little too obsessed with dreams and childhood. Freud believed that mental illness came from the unconscious mind, and not from being cursed by a witch. A step forward, for sure, but he also had some, interesting ideas. Ever heard of the Oedipus complex? Yeah, we're not getting into that. Meanwhile, other scientists were like, what if we stop making things weird and just study behavior? That's where we get Ivan Pavlov and his famous dog experiment, where he figured out that ringing a bell could make a dog drool. This led to behaviorism, where psychologists realized they could study how humans and animals learn. And yes, this eventually led to clicker training your dog, so thanks Pavlov. Then came World War I and II, and suddenly, the world had a lot of traumatized soldiers. I mean, like they were shaking from the top, make it drop. They called it shell shock at first, but today, we know it as PTSD. For the first time, people started realizing that mental health wasn't just about being strong. Today, well, we do have mental disorders, some being very relevant to the LGTVs. We're using brain scans, AI, and therapy techniques that would have blown Hippocrates' mind. We can treat mental illnesses, understand how habits form, and even predict behavior using neuroscience. But here's the kicker. For this video, I needed research, and from the looks of things, the brain is one of the most dumbest thing ever. Just think about it. We are shit at guessing. Like, remember the time when we thought we will have cars flying in 2026 when we were a kid? And the fact that teachers expect us to learn all subjects when one teacher can't teach all? And the brain naming itself as well as saying it's the most important in the body sounds kinda rigged. Don't forget to like, subscribe.